Good morning and welcome to Full Circle Ozarks.
Well, let me introduce you to another project we're also working as time allows. I scored on some used telephone poles, and we've got to get these on the mill, and we're going to see if we can square some of these up. I've got a metal detector that we can kind of scan them to make sure we don't have any nails or anything in them. So I haven't ever milled any used telephone poles on the mill, so this may be the last time we do it if we run into a lot of issues. But we have a couple of projects we're going to be using these for. But the first part of this project is to at the length of the pole, there's a copper wire that goes from the top of the pole down into the bottom of the ground, and that copper wire is stapled to the pole. So we've got to get that copper wire off, and then we'll see if we can get these milled up. So come along and watch your progress on this. It's going to be interesting. I went ahead and set the small end up toward the mill head for right now, but let me see if I can roll this log over, or the pole over, and you'll see part of the copper wire here. I'll give you a close-up shot in just a second. Let me bring you around here and give you a close-up shot of what I have to get out, and then we'll hit it with the metal detector. Hopefully you can see this really good, but like there's a bolt right here, and this is a copper wire. It's stapled all up and down through the length of this pole here. So we're going to go get some tools and pull this copper wire off, and then I'm going to also bring the metal detector out and make sure that we got all the metal out of this one here before we mill it into a cant. Okay, we're going to see if we can start getting these staples here out. So let me get started with that. I'll put me some gloves on and here we go. Let's see how it works out. Got a couple of different tools we're going to try. One staple out. Got another staple on the back side. We'll get it in a moment, maybe. they're coming out pretty easy. If I could keep my tools handy. If you noticed, I dropped a couple of staples. I didn't mean to, but I almost dropped that one. But it'll be interesting to see if my metal detector can pick those up. Help me find them here in a few moments. Okay, we're about got it off. 2 more staples. And here is the copper wire I was telling you about. Now these poles, I've actually cut them in half. They were like 35 feet long. So we cut them in half for what we're going to use them for one of these projects. So. See if I can roll this wire up and okay, so now the next step is to get the metal detector out and see if there's any metal in here. Okay, I've never used this metal detector. I got this one at Harbor Freight. It has some good reviews. Again, it don't need to be real accurate. I'm just trying to figure out if there's any more nails, hopefully at the surface level. And so here's one of the staples I pulled out. We're going to kind of test it with that. Then we'll cover this with a board and see how deep that it can detect any metal. So turn it on. Okay, got a beep there. Okay. Well, that's weird. Maybe too much metal on my sawmill. Okay, it's detecting that well. Let me see if it's would be under a board. Should beep there. Hey. That's good. So, as you can see, if there's a nail, if it's just under the surface, I should be able to find it. So, just let me scan this and see if I see anything. Nothing there. We'll put the staple back there, hit it again. Yep. So, let me roll this. About right there. I'll walk back down it. No signs of metal there. No signs of metal there. I'll turn it some more again. I'll do one more test with the staple. Okay. We know it's detecting. Another test. Yeah, still working. Got to roll it just a little bit more. About right there. And that gives me a complete rotation of the log, or pole, whatever you want to call it. Not detecting anything. Again, I'm going to lay the staple there. Yep, it found it. So based on what I'm seeing here, I think this metal detector is going to work out well for what I'm looking for. So we'll try to saw one and see what it looks like. Go ahead and saw it, Joe. Well, that made a nice beam, so I'm going to go ahead and get some staples out of some more logs and get those sawed up. So we'll be checking back in shortly. What I wanted to do is just kind of use the sawmill as a workbench. This has got that copper ground wire. It starts from here and runs all the way down. So we're going to get that copper wire removed. Find any more nails. That's a good thing. Sometimes these utility poles are used on street corners, and people will put up yard sale signs and so forth.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things I want to try to avoid. So it appears we got all the staples off of this. So we'll go ahead. Right now it's too long for my mill. I've got to cut it down just a few feet, and we'll get it milled into a cant. So when we get ready to mill it, we'll turn the camera back on, so stay tuned. These stainless steel bunks that I added on my HM126, they are nice. It allows me the wood to slide real easy versus the painted surfaces. The painted surfaces, the wood would kind of dig in. They're an option on the HM126. They come standard on the HM130 Max. You see all my slab wood over here? That's going to be another project. We got to get all this here burnt pretty soon. Also, these telephone poles are so much lighter than the red oak and white oak that we've been milling. These are actually fun to mill.
One more side.
That wind is blowing my mill head down a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's
Do you
get
mean
them
hold
close
it?
up and see so they can see this wood here, sweetheart. Talking about turning into some beautiful wood out of telephone poles, I really like the way that looks. We're making some nice 6x6 cants. So it's some beautiful wood. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. We got several more of these to saw up. Once we get them all done, we'll come back and give you an update.